Hey vinyl community, Jeff here again, and it's time for another contest entry video. Yeah, so a lot of contests going around, and I like being supportive. It's nice to win occasionally, but hey, somebody said the other day, hey, Jeff always wins. Jeff doesn't always win. Come on, he's won a couple, but if you look at the statistics of how many I enter versus how many I win, I definitely lose more than I win. But anyway, let's get this one on. This is for Christian over CGC Vinyl. He is celebrating coming up to his 1-year anniversary making videos in the VC. So he has based this contest on 365 days, 365. And it's really simple. You can jump on board. There will be a link below. You can get involved in this contest and show your support. Fun stuff. You have to subscribe to typical stuff. But anyway, 3 different genres. 3 records from one, 6 from another, 5 from another, 3 different genres, not 5 bands, not 5 same bands or anything like that. You'll see all the rules and everything. Really simple though. But so 3 albums from one genre, 6 albums from another, 5 from another, 365 days. So I started off. I tried to go a little out of my normal realm. Most people know I'm a hard rock and metal guy, but I have other sides. I have a sensitive side. Anyway, so first off, 3 from the genre of jazz, or you might call it big band, you might call it swing music, but it's going to be under the category of the typical classic jazz of yesteryear. Benny Goodman, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the oldest records that that I own as far as the actual pressing of it. So I think when I made this video, that was determined to be. I don't think I've gotten one older. You can see the person put some nice strapping tape on it to hold it together, but the album itself is in great condition. And I love big band music also. Got to see some of my first introduction to big band music was back in the 80s. I was in the military at my first base, just got out of basic training, was stationed there. A couple months later, my parents came to visit. Now I was down in Mississippi. They came to visit. We went to New Orleans to stay at a hotel. They stayed in New Orleans, and we went to the Was it the Blue Room? Anyway, we saw the Tommy Dorsey band. Of course, Tommy Dorsey was passed, but the band was there. And I was just blown away. Just loved it. The drums, everything was fantastic. And so that kind of started me on, an enjoyment and appreciation of big band music. So there you go. Benny Goodman, big band. Artie Shaw, also another one. I pick up some of the stuff when I can if they're in great condition. And so this is Artie Shaw. Great stuff. And then Buddy Rich. Everybody, I'm a drummer, everybody's like, hey, do you like Buddy Rich? Well, of course I like Buddy Rich. So I want to get more of his stuff. I have a lot of it on CD, but very little on vinyl. All right. And then for the 6, I went with 6 pop albums. Yeah, I like pop music. So let's go into this. Adam Ant, Manners and Physique. Probably his most pop album as he went solo and then came to this. This was very much dance, electronic type pop music. So very different from pretty much everything he's done prior to this and after. And I love it. It's one of my favorite albums. Great grooves. Great stuff. Candy O by The Cars. This is your typical radio friendly pop rock that would have been back in the day. The MTV hits and stuff. This and future albums that came after that. No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. He's just got so many hits. And, this is typical 80s pop music that would have been back in the day. And same with Duran Duran, Rio. What can I say? Hungry Like the Wolf, Rio. It's got all the big ones. This is kind of where I think they broke. Their first album had a couple songs that ended up going back and enjoying. But I think this is what really, MTV started. Boom, Hungry Like the Wolf came out, hit them good. Hall & Oates, Big Bang Boom, Big Bam Boom. So yeah, this was back in the heights of their heyday, back in the 80s when they were all over MTV with all the big hits, Out of Touch, Method of Modern Love. So anyway, yes, pop greatness from the 80s. One of my favorite albums from the 80s, Spring Session, M by Missing Persons. This album, I've got a bunch of their stuff, but this one to me, it was the first one I got. This was the one we saw on MTV. This is the one I got back in the day. Got it for Christmas one year and have enjoyed it ever since. So there you go. That is a super duper pop. Now let's get back into my realm a little more. We are going to go with metal here. specifically thrash metal. I like classic thrash metal, the 80s sound. I'm not much into the death thrash or the the stuff that's really harsh, but some of these bands are borderline into that area. But I decided to go with something rather than just traditional metal. Let's do a little more thrash, and these are just in alphabetical order. So Accuser, this is one that got reissued a few months back. So yeah, check it out. They've reissued some of their stuff on vinyl for the first time. A bunch of it have been reissued on CD, and I believe there are some more vinyl coming forth. Absolutely, probably one of the first two thrash bands I got into, Exciter, Violence, and Force. I think Metallica was probably the first. I bought this strictly for the cover and the way they looked. I had no idea, no idea what kind of style they were. At this time, I was definitely engrossed in just typical traditional metal, so this was definitely harder than I'm used to. But I fell in love with it just like I did the first Metallica album and became a huge lifelong Exciter fan. Just still one of my favorite albums. This one I didn't discover till not too many years ago. Stricken by Might by EXE. A one-off album by a band, New York, Carl Kennedy. I saw this in the store back when I showed it on the video. And I said, any band that looks like that is coming home with me. I noticed it was produced by Carl Kennedy from The Rods, from all kinds of other amazing production things he did in New York. So I knew I was going to love it, and I did. These guys are stirring up a little. I keep seeing them post things on Instagram and stuff. So whether there's something new forthcoming, it's been talking about for a while. So anyway, great stuff. Another recent reissue, thanks to Scott Waters and Group, a Gamma Side. I believe, was this the first time on vinyl or is this a reissue? Anyway, I had not heard of this band before, and I bought this just based on Scott telling me I had to, and fell in love with it. Great stuff. The CD that came out of this had some extra bonus tracks, which I think were just even, for demos, they were amazing sounding. So, yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like. This is right up in that sweet spot of that traditional thrash sound of the 80s. And here's one. This is just, this counts, but it's kind of... I'll tell you what I did in order to find these. I just went to my Discogs where I catalog all of my music, and I typed in thrash. Search my collection for thrash. So everything in here was categorized by somebody on Discogs as being thrash. So if you disagree with my opinion, it's not my opinion. It's what has been categorized as Discogs. And this one came up as that too, and I just found it funny. Dream Theater. Why is Dream Theater thrash? Well, because this is Dream Theater playing Master of Puppets by Metallica in its entirety live. And so they play thrash music, Dream Theater being a prog rock metal band. But anyway, that was cute. I thought, who thinks a Dream Theater is thrash? But there you go. They're playing a thrash classic, and they do it from start to finish. And in Dream Theater style, but still, just a great play on the Metallica thing, and that they do it justice. So anyway, there you go. 3, 6, 5. Jump on board. Link below. Thanks a lot. Congrats, Christian, on being here for almost a year. I think it comes up in March. And we'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.